fun. Y'all are actually going to be leaving, many of you are going to be leaving very soon. And when you exit this building, we are going to scream, shout, hoot, holler. Some folks are going to cry for you. If we had confetti, we would throw confetti at you as you exit the door because we are so excited. And we are also laughing behind all of your backs. I'm telling you because I try to be an honest person. We're laughing at you. We are laughing because most of you have no clue what you're getting into. Because we're going to cheer, hoot, holler, and scream as you exit this building. And as soon as you get Fort Benning, there will be screaming. You're going to do it because you're in pain, and people are going to do it at you, mostly just because. It will feel like suddenly, as soon as you arrive in Georgia, something in the air has turned you into an evil person. Because it'll feel like you can't do a single thing right. It's all of, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, I'm going to scream at you some more. Your bed isn't tight enough, do it again. And that's when they're letting you sleep in a bed. It sucks a lot. It's not fun. People who told you it's fun, they're crazy or they're liars. It sucks. The reason I tell you this is not because I really want to rub it in your face, although, the reason I tell you this is because I know it sucks. I've been there, not at Fort Benning, but I've been through basic training. And I can tell you there is a real reason for you having to go through all of that suffering. It's because when you get there, somebody hands you a stack of uniforms. You'll have, well, initially when you arrive, you just get your duty uniform and you get your PT uniform and not much else. But as soon as you put on that uniform, people start looking at you and seeing a soldier. They stop seeing Mr. Frazier, Mr. LaChapelle, or Mr. Walls. They start seeing a soldier. They start seeing somebody who represents their service and their country. We don't want you walking around in our uniform looking a hot mess and acting a hot mess. So we send you to basic training where people yell at you and are mean to you in order to make sure that when you're wearing our uniform, you know how to behave yourself. You know how to make us look good so that you know that it is an honor, that it is a privilege to wear the uniform of the United States Army. It's not a right. It's not an entitlement. You standing here today means that you are qualified to wear the uniform. Your shipping, what you're going to go through over the next couple of months is you earning that uniform. So that when you get done with your training and you're walking around on the street in your ACUs, you can stand tall and you can be a good representative of your service and of your country. So that when people look at you, they're like, that's a soldier. And other soldiers and your family members can look at you and they can say, that's my young man, he's a soldier. And know that you really, truly have the right to be wearing it. So when it kind of sucks, know that there's a purpose to it. It's not just so somebody can make you or be mean to you or make you feel bad about yourself. It's so that you understand the true gravity, the importance of wearing the uniform. So you know deep down that you earned it. For my family members, some of you, I'm sure, have served. Or you have another family member who has served. So you know exactly what they're getting into. You were laughing with me behind their, actually you probably laughed in their faces before they left the house last night. You know what they're getting into. So you're not too concerned when they call home, you know, boy, get over it. Some of you, though, maybe this is the first person in your family who's serving. Let me reassure you right now today that every person that they meet, as soon as they exit this building, is tasked with taking care of them. It's our job to make sure they are fit physically, making sure they are fit financially so they're not spending all their money on Xbox games. And it's also their responsibility to stop and say, hey, you're not acting like yourself. You're not talking like yourself. Are you okay? We're also concerned with making sure that they are emotionally all right. So that when you get that phone call, it's not going to be tomorrow and it's not going to be today. In about 2 or 3 weeks, somebody's going to call home crying, sobbing. There will be snot. You're not going to be able to see it because they don't Skype from basic training. But somebody is going to call home crying. And it's not because anybody has abused him. That's not what's going on. What it is you get to basic training, you are now told you're going to do things on somebody else's time and somebody else's way. And it's something of a culture shock. It's getting used to doing things on somebody else's time and somebody else's way. And please know, we are doing our best to make sure that the next time you see your young man, he's even better than he is today. So feel free to cry your tears, but let them be happy tears and tears of pride. Don't worry about them, though. We're going to take care of them. I don't know how far you all got into the family briefing before we brought you back in here for the ceremony. I have a group of, it's been whittled down to, I want to say 8 to 10 shippers who really should be leaving the building as I'm speaking. They've got a very early flight today. So unfortunately, what's going to happen now is after I get them sworn in, I'll sign their contracts, and for that group, almost immediately after I sign their contracts, they'll get another short briefing, and they're going to be put on a van to go to the airport to make sure that they don't miss their flights this morning. Those who are not on that first early flight, they'll be allowed to hang out in the building, they'll eat lunch, and you'll be able to watch them while they eat their lunch. Okay, that is enough for the captain. I've got a couple of questions I've got to ask you to confirm that you know who you are and what you're doing, and then I'm going to get you sworn in. Gentlemen, did you receive the briefing on the DoD separation policy and restriction on conduct in the armed forces?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any reservations at this time about taking the oath of enlistment?
No, ma'am.
All right, then, gentlemen, I'm going to bring you back to position of attention in just 1 second. When I do so, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. I want you to raise it up here just like this at a 90-degree angle. Nothing down here. Everything down here is sorry. None of you is sorry. We don't let sorry people come into this room. So I want it up here just like this, 90-degree angle, so I can see that you're strong and you know exactly what you're doing. First line that I say will be I, state your full name. I want you to repeat that back to me, but please say your name. Do not say state your full name. I don't know that it's legally binding if you say state your full name. After that, we'll go back and forth until the oath is completed, and then we'll get contracts signed. Anybody have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you all still want to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then. Group, attention. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, James Judge,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and that I will obey the orders
and that I will obey the orders
of the President of the United States
of the President of the United States
and the orders of the officers
and the orders of the officers
appointed over me
appointed over me
according to regulations
according to regulations
and the Uniform Code
and the Uniform Code
of Military Justice.
of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Lower your right hand, gentlemen. Congratulations. Family members, if you wouldn't mind putting down your cameras for just a second so we can give them a round of applause.